All right, today, before you begin your escape room challenge, I'm dealing with writing equations. I'm just going to do a recall of the skills you learned before you left for the Thanksgiving break. And we're going to talk about how to write equations, or just recall how to write equations in what we call slope intercept form. That's basically where you have y by itself on one side of the equation equal to mx plus b. M represents your slope. X is always attached to your slope. And then plus b by b represents your y-intercept. Okay. All right. The y-intercept is where your line will cross the y-axis, and we'll talk about that sometime this week. But all equations have to be written in this form: y equals mx plus b. So whenever you find a slope, attach it to your variable x. You're always going to keep x and y when you're writing these equations, and you're going to replace m, which is your slope, and b, which is your y-intercept. Okay. All right, so let's start off with number 1. I want to write it in y equals mx plus b form. I'm trying to replace m and b, but I already have m and b, so I just use it. Keep y and x, but you're going to take your m, which is your 2, attach it, your slope, which is 2, and attach it to x. Again, you're keeping x and y, and then minus 8, that's your b. So as you can see, I kept y and x, and I replaced m and b. Same thing goes here. I have m and b already, so I'm going to keep y and x, and then replace m and b. Okay, so m, your slope is negative 2/3, so it's negative 2/3 x, and b is a positive 4, so put plus 4. On number 1, b was negative 8, that's why I put minus 8. Well, you could also put plus negative 8, but plus negative is the same as minus positive. All right, on number 3, I only have m, which is your slope. So I'm missing the y-intercept. So the first thing is going to be to find the y-intercept, missing b. Okay. So this is what you do when you have m and not b. Okay. Not like number 1 and 2. Number 1 and 2, I had slope and y-intercept, m and b. But on number 3, I only have m. So I'm going to label these. Every ordered pair consists of an x-coordinate and y-coordinate. So what I do have is I have the slope, and I actually have an x and a y. Well, in this particular case, I'm going to write down the slope intercept form, and I'm going to replace everything that I can. I'm going to replace m, I'm going to replace x, I'm going to replace y. And the only variable that will be left that I need to find is b. Okay, so y is 1, m is 4. When it's mashed together, that means times negative 6. Your x is negative 6 plus b. You don't know it. So you're just going to simplify. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Then you're going to solve for b by adding 24 to both sides. So you can see b is actually 25. So now I actually have m, which is 4, and b, which is 25. So it's really easy to write the equation. Y equals 4x plus 25. And that's all you do. Excuse me. All right, you can pause the video and try number 4. All right, this is what you should have gotten. You're going to replace m, x, and y in slope intercept form. Your slope is 6. Excuse me, your y is 6. Your slope is negative. Your slope is negative 1/2. Your x value is negative 4. I'm just going to place it over 1 plus b. So when I multiply the two top numbers, I get positive 4. And when I multiply the two bottom numbers, I get positive 2. But I know that 4 divided by 2 is 2. And when I solve for b, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. Sorry, this is kind of mashed together. All right, so 4 is equal to b. 6 minus 2 is 4. These cancel. So I'm going to erase this because I need some room. You should be writing it on notebook paper, so you should have all the room you need. So now I know that m is negative 1/2 and b is actually 4. So I can write the equation y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Now number 5, it's a little bit easier because you have an x of 0 and a y of negative 3. But whenever you have an x of 0, the y is actually your y-intercept. So it's actually your b. That's only if you have an x of 0. That doesn't work if you have a y value of 0. Okay, guys? So I'm going to use the shortcut here. So now I know m is negative 1 and b is actually negative 3. But again, this only works if you have an x of 0, okay? Your x coordinate has to be 0 before you can use this shortcut. All right, so your equation is just y equals to negative 1x minus 3, or you could write this as y equals to negative x minus 3, same thing. All right, we're going to take a look at 6. 6, you're going to do a lot more work, guys. Excuse me. All right, on 6, you'll notice that you don't have m. You also don't have b. So, got to do more work on this one. Go ahead and write that problem down. I have 2 x coordinates and 2 y coordinates, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is find m by using the slope formula, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. That's the first order pair, and these represent the second. So I end up with negative 1 minus negative 3. And my second x is negative 4 minus negative 6. So I end up with an m of 2 over 2, which is 1. So my slope is 1. I'm going to show you another way you could do this if you don't want to use the slope formula. You could put it in what I call table form. Let me show you. So you could put it in table form here. Negative 6, negative 3, negative 4, negative 1. And if you put it in table form, you're going to be looking for the change of y over the change of x. The change of y is plus 2. You would have to add 2 to negative 3 to get to negative 1. And then the change of x is also plus 2. Negative 6 plus 2 will put you at negative 4, which is negative 1. A lot of students like the change of y over the change of x, put it in table form because you don't have to do any subtraction. It's less writing, actually. All right, so now I know my slope is 1. Now I just need to figure out my y-intercept. So we're going to use the same thing, the same concept we used on numbers 3 and 4. And I'm having to erase because I don't have enough room. You can use either point. So to find b, your y-intercept, use a point, a meaning 1, not both, and m. And y equals mx plus b. You can put it in that equation and you'll solve for b. All right, so I just pick a point. So I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick this one. So I'm not going to use negative 4, negative 1. Now you can. I don't care which one you use. All right, so I have enough room. I'm going to go down here and work it. It's going to write y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to replace y with -3 right here. I'm going to replace m with 1 times your x. Your x is -6 plus b. So we end up with -3 equals to -6 plus b. And I simply add 6 to both sides of the equation. And 3 equals to b. That's your y-intercept. Now I have an m of 1 and a b that's equal to 3. So my equation is simply, and let me write this a little better. My equation is simply y equals 1x plus 3, or you could write y equals to x plus 3. And that's all you do, guys. Pretty simple. All right, number 7, I'm going to use a shortcut. Actually, I'm going to use a shortcut on 7 and 8. But 7, I noticed that I have an x of 0. So this y coordinate ends up being my b. It's my y coordinate, okay? My y-intercept. So b is 1. Now all I need to do is find m. I'm going to use the table method because it's just simpler to me. 0, 1, and 5, 3. The change here is plus 2. And the change here is plus 5. So my slope, let me write it right here. My slope is calculated from looking at the change of y over the change of x. So my slope is actually 2 over 5. My equation, therefore, is y equals 2/5 x plus 1. And that is all you do. Again, this is just a recap of things we've already learned. Now for number 8, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of work. I'm going to show you a shortcut on it, but you have to be very aware of your x coordinates and your y coordinates when you have 2 points, okay? Because sometimes you can use shortcuts when you're given these coordinates, all right? And trying to find the equation. All right, you should notice something about your y coordinates. This y coordinate is 3, and this y coordinate is 3. The equation is simply y equal to 3. That's all you do. I'm going to give you an example that looks like this. Just make it up. -1, 2, and -1, -5. Well, if you'll notice, your x coordinates are the same. Here you have an x of -1 and an x of -1. So the equation is just x equal to -1. But you'll end up, if you don't see that, like if you're not paying attention, you'll end up doing number 8 like you did number 6. You'll be working it the long way, okay? I mean, you can, but it's a waste of time. All right, 9 and 10, when you're given a table of values, what do? Well, it's very easy. You're going to find the slope by calculating the change of y over the change of x. And then you'll pick a point. When I say pick a, I mean pick 1. Pick a point from the table. To help find b. All right, so I'm just going to calculate. I don't care what 2 points you use to do the change of y or the change of x. It doesn't matter. I'll do these 2. It doesn't matter. Just pick 2. All right, so the change here is -2, and the change here is +2. So the slope would simply be -2 over 2, which is -1. So m equals -1, guys. That's it. Okay, now I'm going to pick a point. I don't care which point you pick. I know m is -1. I'm going to pick the point 16 too. It doesn't matter which point you pick. So I'm going to use y equals mx plus b. Y is 2, m is -1, x is -16, b we don't know. We're trying to figure it out. All right, that's 16 plus b. I'm going to solve for b by subtracting 16 from both sides. So b is -14. And the equation, therefore, using m and b and keeping y and x, is y equals to negative 1x minus 14. Very simple. Okay, I'm going to use the same method on number 10. For m, I'm going to calculate the change of y over the change of x. Pick any 2 points you want. I'll pick the first two. The change here is minus 1. The change here is minus 2. From here to here, it's minus 2. From here to here, it's minus 1. So the slope is negative 1 over negative 2, which is a positive 1/2. And I'm going to pick a point. I don't know. Let's pick negative 10, negative 5. And I'm just going to use my slope-intercept form to find b. Y is negative 5. M is 1/2. X is negative 10. I'm going to put it over 1 because 1/2 is a fraction. So I have negative 5. Multiplying the top, I get negative 10. Multiplying my denominators, I get 2. So you have negative 5 equals to negative 5 plus b. Add 5 to both sides. B is simply 0, guys. So you can write the equation. You got an m of 1/2. And you have a b of 0. You can write y equals to 1/2 x plus 0. But I would just write y equals to 1/2 x and leave it like that. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you one more thing. If you ever get tables that look like this, if you'll notice, all your x's are negative 2, so the equation is x equal to negative 2. Shortcuts, okay? Here's another one. Just making up something. That's negative 8. Negative 8, 5. I don't like the way that's written. Here, all your y's are negative 5. So, positive 5, so y equals to 5, and you're done. All right, now, what I want to do is go over how to write an equation from a graph, and then I'm going to let you work on the escape room challenge. All right, so the first thing you're going to do when you're given a graph and you're tasked with writing an equation is identify the slope, which is m. And you can calculate it by finding the rise over the run. You must draw a triangle first, okay? And then the y-intercept. Okay, so the y-intercept is b. That's where your line touches the y-axis. Touches or crosses the y-axis. And then you write your equation in slope-intercept form once you find both. And remember, when you write it in slope-intercept form, you keep y and x, replace m and b. All right, let's take a look at some examples. So when you're given a graph, the first thing you're going to do is draw a triangle from one point to the other and calculate rise over run. So from this point to this point is a rise of 1, 2, 3, because you went up 3, and a run of positive 1 because you went to the right one, so the slope is 3. And where does it touch the y-axis? Well, it touches it right here at negative 3. So your b is negative 3. So the equation is y equals to 3x minus 3. And someone may be wondering, did I have to draw my triangle there? No, you could have also drawn it this way. Down 1, 2, 3, which is -3, and left 1, which is -1. Remember, rise can go up or down. If it goes up, it's positive. Goes down, and it's negative. Run can either go left or right. If it goes left, it's negative. Right is positive. But in this particular case, we went down first from the blue to the red. And then we went left. 1, that's -1. You still get +3. I don't care which way you draw your triangle. All right, let's take a look at this one. And you can also be able to tell, guys, this line goes uphill. So you're going to have a positive slope. This line, and it's from left to right. From left to right, the line goes uphill. But here from left to right, the line doesn't go uphill. It goes downhill. So you should expect a negative slope, okay? All right, what I'm going to do, though, is draw a triangle to calculate my rise over my run. I'm going to go down. I'm going to do it in red so you can see. Down 1, 2, 3. And right 1, 2. So the slope is -3 over 2. Remember, I always do rise before you run. So calculate the up or down part and then calculate the left or right part, okay? All right, B, what does the line touch the y-axis? Well, it touches it right there at -1. So your equation is y equals to -3/2 x minus 1. Pretty simple. All right, I'll do one more, and then I'll let you have it. You can work on your escape room challenge. All right, I'm going to draw my triangle that's up 2 and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is actually 2 over 5. And B, where does it touch the y-axis? Well, it touches it right here. And that's at +2. So the equation is y equals to 2/5 x plus 2. Pretty simple. Now, I don't think you're going to have anything like these on the escape room challenge. I need to find it. If you do have something like this on the escape room challenge, guys, this is a vertical line. You just tell me these are going to be special. It's either going to be x equal to a number or y equal to a number, okay? If it's vertical, it's going to be x equal to a number. And it crosses it at not x equal to 1, 2, but x equals to, it crosses the x-axis at 3, so it's x equal to 3. This one is horizontal. It's a horizontal line. But it doesn't cross the x-axis. It cuts through the y-axis, or it crosses it at -1 at a y of -1. So it's y equal to -1. This line this line right here crosses the x-axis at +2. So it's x equal to +2. This line cuts the y-axis and it cuts it at 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's y equal to 3. Pretty simple. All right, that's it. You work on your escape room challenge, okay? Thank you.